You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone is a wide-body pinball machine first released in 1993 by Midway under the Bally label. The theme is based on the 1950s and 60s TV series of the same name, starring Rod Serling, the show's host and narrator, where each episode people find themselves in very strange and unordinary situations, usually with an unexpected twist. The game was first of the WMS Super Pin line of wide-body games. Notable inclusions: Star Trek The Next Generation, Demolition Man, and Indiana Jones: The Pinball Adventure. The game was a great commercial success, with 15,235 machines produced. Twilight Zone is still number 1 on the IPDB rankings, and is still regularly mentioned on the internet as being the best pinball machine of all time. Even on the promo flyer, look how high the play meter is, compared to these losers. Twilight Zone contains the most toys and the most overcost budget in the history of pinball. So, buckle up because we are about to enter a new dimension. This is the history of the Twilight Zone Pinball Machine. Following the massive success of the Addams Family Pinball Machine, Midway gave Pat Lawler full control over the design of his next game. He got an unlimited budget to make Twilight Zone, and the result is an unusually complex machine. The pinball machine is taken from the CBS TV series that aired between 1959 and 1964. The 138-episode science fiction series, created and hosted by Rod Serling, is still celebrated decades after its launch. It has become a huge pop culture icon, spanning across TV, movies, and theme parks. The TZ series presents itself as an anthology of fantastic, strange, and enigmatic stories, with the pinball machine referencing many stories and characters from the show. Strangely, the pin's name removed the from The Twilight Zone, and now you will never be able to unsee it. The game features many unique innovations and toys, such as a working gumball machine, which holds 3 balls and can dispense or receive others during play. Also included is a functioning 12-hour analog clock that can display the current time and function as a timer during certain rounds. Twilight Zone was produced with 2 different clock face decals. Many people erroneously believe that the white clock face, as shown in the flyer and the promo, indicates a prototype game. In actuality, 2,000 or 3,000 games were manufactured with the white clock face. Sometimes the gumball machine will release the Power Ball, a white ceramic ball which is 20% lighter than the other steel balls in the machine and unaffected by magnets. This ball is as fast as it is difficult to control. When Pat Lawler first envisioned a gumball machine in the pinball game, he wanted it to dispense balls of various colors. Research into a material that would withstand the rigors of a pinball machine was done, with only one answer: high temperature ceramic. Unfortunately, this type of ceramic comes in only 2 colors, blue and white. Ordinary pigments are not possible due to the high temperatures involved in the ceramic manufacturing process. Pat obtained samples of both colors and threw them into a whitewater prototype, which had just finished development at the time. His first reaction was, where did the ball go? Unfortunately, the dark color of the ball made it hide in the shadows. Add that to the dark blue playfield, and the result was an almost invisible ball. The ball is detected from 2 metal detectors, one in the underground ramp, and one right before it's plunged from the shooter lane. Next up we have the Power Field, a triangular mini playfield whose underside contains magnets that propel the ball upwards. Players have to work to defeat the sworn enemy, the Power. There are 2 magnetic flippers dubbed MagnaFlip in the positions where you might find and expect regular flippers to be. Operating the flipper buttons turns the magnets on and off, propelling the ball into the scoring hole within the time limit. The success rate of this fight is only around 30%, and a failure sends the ball directly into the dangerous pop bumpers. Originally, in the prototype phase, screen text and switch covers were added to the mini playfield during production, and a leveling mechanism was added. The words "flip here" were also added, to aid in understanding of the MagnaFlip feature. The design team observed players on location staring in slack-jawed confusion once the ball reached the mini playfield. In the center of the Twilight Zone playfield artwork is a door similar to the one shown in one of the TV show's opening sequences. The door consists of 14 border panels, indicating various awards that are available for the player to collect. Some of the panels start single ball or multi-ball timed modes that can be stacked, starting while other modes are in progress, while other panels simply light shots or award points. The ultimate goal of the game is to light all 14 panels and start Lost in the Zone, the game's wizard mode, represented by the doorknob. The game provides several ways to light door panels: shoot the slot machine when lit, shoot the player piano when lit, or defeat the power in the mini playfield. Here's a basic strategy of the game to get that desired free game. First, begin by shooting the left and right ramp to light the difficult lock shot for multi-ball. During multi-ball, hit the player piano sinkhole for a jackpot. You can relight the jackpot by hitting a shot into the camera, a large sinkhole behind the upper left flipper. Make sure to hold the left upper flipper up when aiming, as it is almost impossible to reach without. The camera feeds into the slot machine kickout. This kickout is very important to master control of, and can be done with a live catch or trapping it on the left flipper with a dead bounce. Another option for points is to shoot the right orbit and load the gumball machine. In normal play, there should be 3 balls in the gumball machine, and typically one of them is the Powerball. Once the Powerball is released, shooting the Powerball back into the gumball machine will start Powerball Mania, a 3-ball multi-ball. The goal is to get the ball into the right ramp towards the mini playfield to defeat the power and claim a Mania jackpot. You can collect cheat Mania jackpots during Powerball Mania by shooting the camera after a ball has tripped the upper opto on the power field. This can be used to collect several Mania jackpots with only one ball on the power field. Beware of hitting into the pop bumpers, as this can spell danger and will often lead to a drain. Below the right orbit is the rocket, which will shoot the ball into the pop bumpers at lightning speed. Good luck, and may you get your initials on the board. Twilight Zone has been very popular in competitive play since its release. In tournament mode, camera awards are parallelized, meaning that the same award is offered to each player even after another player has collected it. When extra balls are disabled, the light extra ball door panel is automatically lit. At the beginning of the game, Clock Millions is the currently flashing door panel, and the slot machine will always award the next available door panel, starting with light gumball and proceeding counterclockwise. Another reasonable modification for tournament play is to remove one ball from the machine, such that only 2 balls reside in the gumball machine. This makes it easier to get a fair chance at playing the Powerball multi-ball. Sometimes the Powerball is entirely removed and simulated by adjusting the menu software, although where is the fun in that? In 1992, Williams' agreement with its distributors gave them exclusive sales rights to a territory. Each distributor did not have the right to sell outside of their territory. However, this rule was not always followed. In order to track the game's origin from a distributor into the wild, a blacklight number was added. If the game turned up outside of that territory's number, it was assumed that the distributor had bootlegged the game outside of that territory. It was then up to management to decide what penalty to incur on the offender. Now, this was during a time when it was profitable to sell and operate pinball machines, and according to Pat Lawler, this practice would have been laughable today because any sale of a pinball machine is a good sale. John Husey did the artwork for the game. Rod Serling's likeness had to be licensed separately from the Twilight Zone name. The choice was also made to not have him smoking in the translite, like he famously did in the show. Tim Kitzrow, who provided voices for NBA Fast Break, Attack from Mars, Roadshow, and The Shadow, provided the voice of Rod Serling. The back glass also contains many referenced items and characters from the show. Notable inclusions: Talkie Tina from the episode The Living Doll, the Maple Street sign from The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street, Willie the ventriloquist figure from the episode The Dummy, and an invader from my favorite episode, The Invaders. It's fun seeing these guys delivering extra balls or winding the clock. Surprisingly, the gumball machine and the power eye pyramid do not appear in any episodes. It's a Pat Lawler and John Husey original contribution. TZ is the third Lawler game to have a particular item on the back glass. On Whirlwind, you'll see a guy holding a red joystick in his left hand with a button on top. On Funhouse, Rudy is holding the same thing, also in his left hand. And on Twilight Zone, the same thing, except it is Willie who is holding the now infamous button joystick with coiled cord in the same hand. It is not known why this exists, but seems to be a Williams-Bally in-joke of some sort. Twilight Zone was originally to be the first game to use Williams' then new DCS sound system, but due to time constraints concerning the production of the DCS board, the music was recomposed for the Yamaha YM2151 Harris CVSD audio board. DCS sound would be introduced for Williams' 1993 Indiana Jones: The Pinball Adventure. In addition to adapting the theme music from the original TV show, the main play tune is a WPC synthesized version of the long guitar solo section from Golden Earring's 1982 song, Twilight Zone. The Jackpot tune is a WPC version of the chorus of that song, where you hear the main melody. There are snippets from dozens of TV show moments strewn throughout this game. When you are awarded a replay, the three reels on the display spins to spell replay. Watch the left and center reel where the cows are. The right reel reads the stunt cows. If a replay is awarded by collecting your end of ball bonus, flipping both flippers simultaneously will award a flipper bonus of 5 million. During Fast Lock, one of the door prizes, you can hear quotes from older Pat Lawler pins as the radio stops at each station. If you hit the clock 6 times during Clock Chaos, you can hear Rudy from Funhouse saying, "Quit playing with the clock."
Quit playing with the clock!
The word Doho can be spotted on the front grille of the car on the right side of the display when the ball is hitting the jet bumpers. The game does not have an official topper, however, there are some pretty sweet custom ones that you can find online. Another feature that sets it apart from other pins, Twilight Zone has acquired the reputation of being the most modified pinball machine, which collectors will gleefully add to an already very populated playfield. Art blades, a must for me. Adding real or real-looking gumballs to the gumball machine. Replacing incandescent bulbs with LEDs, especially in the clock where the hot burning bulbs cause discoloration and warping. Adding a color DMD and figures that represent the playfield art. Twilight Zone was designed with 3 magnets in the orbits instead of the 2 that are usually found there. These spiral helpers are triggered by accompanying opto sensors and activated when appropriate. During pre-production, Twilight Zone was commercially tested and WMS decided that the third magnet was not actually needed, and it was removed from the game to reduce production costs. A unique mod is to add this third magnet back into the game, and there exists retrofit instructions for a third playfield magnet. When Pat Lawler originally designed the game, he was not sure if it would be possible to stop the ball with only one magnet, so he placed 2 on the right side of the loop, one to slow the ball down and one to stop it. As it turns out, the magnets were strong enough, and the controlling software could react quickly enough that catching the ball on any magnet was an easy task. Since the game rules made very little use of the third magnet, it was removed to reduce cost. Some games have 2 posts with rubber rings installed in the jet bumpers. In designing Twilight Zone, Pat Lawler wanted to try something a bit radical, and placed the jet bumpers very close to the bottom of the playfield. However, during prototyping, the ball kept flying down the left train anytime it went into the pop bumpers. After a few weeks of listening to complaints, Pat came into work one morning, grabbed a drill, some T-nuts, posts, and rubbers, and installed the posts. The complaints died down, but now people were complaining that the ball would fly out of the bumpers straight down the middle between the flippers. Pat decided to take out the posts but leave the holes, and put the posts in the coin box for the operator to decide to use. When it went out of production in April 1993, TZ was so complex on the mechanical level and included so many parts that it was also excessively prone to problems. The clock in particular frequently broke down. Machines still in perfect working order are rare and remain sought after by collectors. Nevertheless, Twilight Zone is a classic success of the 90s pinball era and is still played and enjoyed today. It is the 11th highest selling pinball machine of all time, and still holds its value over all these years. As of this video, the average price of a well-working machine being sold off Pinside is between $9,000 and $11,000. Twilight Zone was available as a licensed pinball table of the Pinball Arcade for several platforms, but it has been removed as the publisher no longer has the rights to the Bally Midway titles. Unlicensed recreations of the game are also available for Visual Pinball and Future Pinball that run on Windows. If you would like to play a Twilight Zone, check out this pinball map I will link below. You've moved into a land of both pinball and points, of mods and ceramic balls. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, consider subscribing and dropping a like. Thank you to everyone who suggested this video, and let me know what you'd like to see more of in the future.